Moonlight Army, welcome back to another episode of DrayZera Uncensored. Tonight, wherever you're listening from, we have got a very special guest. I call him an Adonis. I call him a muscular wonder. Here comes a bodybuilder, a well-primed, less than 10% muscle grilling machine, Ben Scott!
I've never had an introduction like that in my life.
I'm glad I satisfied you better than any of your exes. That was a bad one. Just so I clarify, I don't know any of Ben's exes. Don't hit me, don't shoot me. Please don't deport me. I have a British passport.
Mate, you make more noise than they did anyway.
DrayZera Uncensored, bringing you interviews, hot topics, and my uncensored opinion. Subscribe to DrayZera for all things podcasts, vlogs, spoken word videos, and so much more. Why would you go anywhere else? Well, this is DrayZera Uncensored, so you can say whatever the hell you want. As long as Trump says that I'm fake news. Anyway. So I brought you along today or tonight, whatever time you're watching Moonlight Army, about the life of Ben Scott, or more or less the life of a bodybuilder. So obviously, I want to start right from the beginning. So at what point have you decided, nah, I don't like to have this body, whatever your body was, you want to turn into a bodybuilder? So tell me about that mindset process in the first place. I'm assuming this must have happened when you were in school, probably, or?
It was never really a process that I kind of went, oh, I want to change like that. It was when I was just a kid, I kind of saw all the Arnie films on TV and all the action figures and that kind of thing. And I just thought like, oh yeah, I wouldn't mind looking like that one day. So then as soon as I got to college and I was old enough to go into a gym, started training and ended up really enjoying it. So
I see. So did you, so from a kid, did you essentially buy stuff like Muscle and Fitness and stuff like that, or like checked up on the interwebs, or whenever or at the time when the internet was better than dial-up, essentially? Because was it a fascination, or was it kind of like, yeah, I know where it is, was it more of a slow burner, or was it kind of a, yes, I want to be this, or was it just as soon as you hit the gym, that is what I want to do?
Well, it was never bodybuilding that I wanted to get into. It was I just kind of like saw the stuff on TV. I never looked into it. I literally just kind of looked up to the old, all the action movie stars and stuff.
Yeah.
And the thing is, to start with, I didn't actually want to get into bodybuilding. I didn't want to get that big. Then when I started training, I had a goal. I started the training. I was about 10 stone.
Okay.
5'11". I was 5'11" tall, and I was about just under 10 stone. And I wanted to hit about 13 stone and have a certain look.
Yeah.
And kind of every kind of milestone I made, I then wanted to get bigger for the next one. And then it just kind of processed until I got to a point where the only way to get bigger was to look into bodybuilding. And the ways of bodybuilding to get the results, like, all the diet and different training methods. And then that's when it kind of got a hold of me, when I got more and more into it. It became a little bit of an addiction, and
When you say get a hold of me, is it kind of some sort of is it almost, let's say, something along the lines of a drink you can never stop, or let's say a feeling you can't get rid of? Like, for example, I'll give you an example. I know it's a completely different world right there. If I felt, for example, if I haven't written or thought about something about writing for a day, I literally have withdrawal symptoms. Other people be like, oh man, I haven't masturbated in 2 days. What's wrong with me? Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? So is it kind of feeling like that? Like, for example, let's say, today, let's say you miss a day of training. Would you feel absolutely miserable?
Some days, if I was meant to train that day, then yeah, I kind of feel like, really should have gone gym. But on my rest days, I just enjoy them for what they are,
I see.
It's kind of like when you start seeing the results and kind of the changes that you want, then, you become kind of addicted to the results in a way. It gives you a really good feeling. You come out of the gym, you've had a good session, and you feel really uplifted, and as much as you're knackered, you still feel really good about yourself.
Because it was worth it at the end of the day, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
It is like a little bit of a. You get a little bit of a kick out of having a really good workout. I think. A lot of my friends are like that. You know, we come out of the gym and it's like, oh, I had a really crap one, and we're not feeling too good. But if we all come out having a really good session, we're all like buzzing in the car and laughing our heads off and joking around. It just kind of like really.
And it's interesting because obviously, like, I mean, do you feel like a good result is essentially, yeah, I pushed my limits to the full. I pushed an extra 10%. I have gained on the weights that I had. So, say for example, if you're lifting, I don't know, 100 kilogram like bench press example, and you hit 120, would you say that is a good session? As long as you come out of it, or is it far more different variables in your mind? Do you know what I mean? Because everyone's different. Everyone's different in a workout.
Yeah.
Everyone has their own different goals. Yeah.
I mean, if that's your goal, if your goal is to break a personal best, then hell yeah, that makes you feel amazing. But I mean, if I go in there one day and I just want to try and grow, and I just want to get like a really good pump and just destroy the muscle. If I go in there and I'm training like arms or something, if I get a really, really good bicep pump and I feel like the skin's almost splitting and I can barely like scratch my ear or anything like that, then I'm like, wow, that was a really good workout type thing.
Really working the muscles essentially, because at the end of the day, being as pump as you are, you can't, if you feel like you've barely used the apparatus in your body, then you feel, well, what was the point in that kind of thing, isn't it?
Yeah, if I have a really bad session, it'll make me feel quite crappy for the rest of the day, to be fair.
Because that's how dedicated you are at this point, isn't it?
Yeah, kind of at the point I'm at now, it's like kind of every workout really does count. So, especially when I've got like all the expos and stuff to go to, I have to make sure that representing my sponsorship
absolutely
as best I can.
Absolutely, I absolutely agree with you. So I want to go back a little bit because we went a bit of like we went the beginning and the end. where's the meat in the story? So during school when you immediately went to the gym, yeah, and you started to go to the gym, at some point, when you realised you had to make sacrifices, can you tell all the listeners and the viewers what sacrifices you need to make at that point when you discovered that bodybuilding was that what you needed to grow even further?
The sacrifices were, a lot of it was to do with, you have to eat more and, you have to eat certain foods and you can't eat other certain foods.
Like, so give an example, yeah?
The biggest sacrifice at that point in time was the fact that I had to eat, like, plain jacket potatoes and like plain rice and plain chicken and just really boring foods. And I couldn't go out. If I wanted to like go out with the lads for a day out or something, I had to take my food with me.
Okay.
Because I couldn't have just like gone to like Thorpe Park or something, or gone out for like a whole day shopping in Norwich or something without having the food with me that I needed.
Right. Yeah.
But that was the biggest one at that point. And obviously because I was at college, it was I was sacrificing a lot of time having to keep prepping my meals to take with me. You couldn't really buy the best stuff in the canteen.
And I realised that you had to essentially that's a lot of drain within your social life, isn't it?
Yeah, it definitely is at that point. But then I wasn't very popular at college anyway. So
that helps. Yeah, no one cares about you, so fuck it, I'll do whatever the hell I want. It makes perfect sense. So essentially you went from that point, and then at that point, is it essentially repetition? Is it kind of a repetitive thing, or did you feel that you had to alter things, essentially?
You have to alter things as you go. As you gain X amount of weight, you have to up your foods, and then your training tends to kind of change as you go along. Your body, if you listen to your body, it will tell you kind of what exercises you need to do more of or less of, and what ones you need to go heavier on or lighter on. But a lot of it's just consistency. It's literally just kind of day in, day out, the same crappy food, the same training, but at the same time, it's still quite enjoyable at that stage because you're seeing the results all the time, and it's the results motivate you to do the things you don't want to do anyway. If that makes sense.
I see. That's interesting. So tell me then, just so I can clarify, there's a bit of a mini backstory to this. So I saw you the other day, just at the town centre post workout. So you said you had to eat boring food. So the viewers can understand, and I can understand. How come Michael Phelps, like to use an example of you and Michael Phelps. Michael Phelps in the morning, he ate like tons of bacon, eggs, like ridiculous, like all of that for a morning. I know he burns all the calories. Then how come you said he had boring food? Now I'm not saying that McDonald's is boring food or not boring food, but
no, not at all.
How could you justify having 2,000 calories of McDonald's instead of 2,000 calories of lean, mean chicken grilling machine instead? Just what I'd ask.
What I've noticed, the size I've got to now is my appetite isn't quite what it was. So
Okay.
for me to fit in the amount of calories I need, I can't get it all from clean foods anymore.
Oh,
If I was to try and eat 2,000 calories worth of plain rice, it would be like kilos of the stuff, and I just couldn't stomach it. Whereas if I just had a hard training session, I'm knackered, I'm hungry, but I don't fancy something like that. I want to kind of treat myself for having a good workout. Just get the calories in quick, and something like a McDonald's or a Burger King or a KFC, something like that, where it's just packed full of calories. After certain days, it has to be kind of the days when you're treating yourself. So, like that one that you saw me was after I trained arms, and that's the point I'm trying to work on the most at the moment. So I needed the calories just to kind of excel the growth a bit more than.
I see. So I follow you. So essentially, you're saying that the positive of crap food is well, let's say less clean foods. Let's be a bit more politically correct and it's uncensored. You can say whatever the hell you want. Podcast irony is that you essentially need that quick fire burst of food, and also because I know that it's not just obviously working out is important, but it's true that a high percentage of your physique diet is what you eat. Am I correct?
Yeah. The diet is there's a lot of arguments on kind of what percentage is training and what percentage is diet. But kind of the typical argument is that it's like 30% training and 70% diet.
And you're totally in truth for that, yeah?
Yeah. Depending on your goals, especially like trying to bulk up and gain weight, then it's just getting in as much calories as you can. When you're trying to cut down and really lean out, then the whole thing about abs are made in the kitchen, not in the gym, then that's true as well.
I see. That's true. That's interesting. I'll tell you a bit of a backstory about me. When I was about, say, I don't know, 22. I don't think you remembered me back when I was 22. We're talking 5 years ago. I don't know if you did. But I was mega obese. I was like nearly 20 stone.
Wow.
And I know, right? And I slimmed down way down to 12.5 stones at one point. I'm sort of somewhere in the middle now. I'm somewhere like around 14 and a bit, 15 kind of thing. But I fluctuate more than my sex life, to be fair. So I mean, I realized that for me it was more of a heavy cutting down of calories, and what I realized was I went to the point that I had to time all my food properly, like timing everything. I literally gave up pizza. I gave up all the very hard, high carbohydrate, hydrogenous food, all that kind of stuff. So essentially, are you saying that because of the high calorie intake and you want to try, even though you want to pack it in a punch, does this mean that you really can't have pizza? You can't have essentially, I don't know, you have to really avoid certain restaurants and you have to time your food absolutely correctly, right?
Yeah, and it very much depends on how, like, kind of what the goal is. For someone who's if you're trying to stay quite lean, then you really do have to be so pinpoint controlled with it. If you're kind of what they call off season and you're a little bit slack with it and you want to do something like it's called dirty bulking, where you are just getting in as much calories as you want and
eat whatever essentially.
Yeah, but I mean, to be fair, sometimes a pizza or a McDonald's or going out for a meal and having a nice big burger or a steak, that's good for you.
Oh, really?
Yeah, especially when you're cutting, like for example, when a lot of bodybuilders cut down for contests, they do something called a cheat day or a cheat meal that they
Okay.
have once a week, and
Okay.
the idea of it is to it shocks after you've been in such a calorie deficit all week. It shocks the body into kind of speeding up the metabolism a little bit,
Okay.
rather than if you're continuously in a calorie deficit. Eventually, your body kind of goes into a survival storage mode where your metabolism will slow down to try and equal out the calories you're consuming, so that your fat loss actually then slows down with it.
Okay.
It's the body just literally doing its job and trying to survive the best it can, but it's working against what you want it to do, the trouble. So you have to try and trick it a little bit by chucking in a cheat day or a cheat meal, so it thinks, oh, okay, I'm not being completely starved. I don't have to shut my metabolism down too far.
So would you say then, out of curiosity then, for any diet, because obviously you're very knowledgeable in nutrition, for anyone that is trying to lose weight, is a cheat meal essential? Because obviously I've noticed that I remembered that when I was losing weight, for me to lose a bit more, I realized that I had to speed up my metabolism, and I did exactly the same thing what you said. Now, mind you, I didn't really bulk up, like I didn't really bulk. You can see I haven't really bulked up at all to your extent. But do you feel that's important? Otherwise, you're just going to be shit.
Yeah, when a cheat meal is implemented into the right kind of diet, then definitely it works. But the trouble is, a lot of people are quite yo-yo with their diets, and they'll eat really good all day, or maybe for like 3 or 4 days, and then they'll have a massive cheat meal that their body isn't in need of yet.
Right.
If that makes sense. If you have the cheat meal before your body actually starts kind of like almost needing it, then you really go against what you've been trying to do. So there's a key to timing it. And also it depends how much you've cut down since. I mean, if you said you cut down from 20 stone, was it?
Yeah.
So you probably wouldn't have needed to have like cheat meals until you'd lost like 3 or 4 stone.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's only when your body actually literally starts. You can kind of tell when your metabolism starts really slowing down.
Yep,
and that you need that little something, that change.
Absolutely, yeah.
Which how you explained it is you actually felt and noticed that yourself without actually knowing what you were doing.
It's almost like a muscle memory. So essentially, if you feel literally like drained out of yourself, like as if you are feeling borderline, what's the word? Yeah, survival mode. Then that's the time, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
When you spend half the day walking around like a zombie because you've not had enough carbs and you're just not with it, then
that's the time. That's absolutely the time. Yeah. So
that's when it can definitely help.
Indeed. And I just want to know, like, so tell me then, out of curiosity for you, because I'm very interested in your opinion, because you might have a better opinion than most other people. You see, there's so many different. There's like 1 million. Ever since I was born, ever since we were both born, yeah, I swear there's like been 1 million diets created, right? And what is your opinion on a lot of them? Because I felt that, I mean, I feel that if I really want to lose weight, it's very simple. Cut down on carbs, eat less. Just don't eat after 7 or 8 if you don't want to, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's very simple. Why do we have so many different diets, and what is the point? Like, tell me. Like, I'm not trying to shit on Slimming World or anything. Just apart from Go on.
It's because people they want to lose the weight and diet down, but they still want to be able to eat a lot of foods that they kind of shouldn't be doing. So certain diets have come out where I think it's called the if it fits your macros diet.
Okay.
Where as long as it fits your macronutrients, which is your carbs, protein, and fat intake for the day, and your calories, you can. They say you can essentially eat whatever you want, and that literally means that you can have your whole macros and everything from donuts and sugar and crap food, as long as you only have X amount of it.
That sounds like torture, man. Because to me it feels like you can have 1, not 2. But somebody like myself, like, I know you could probably eat a lot if you need. Do you know what I mean? Like I can eat
Yeah.
for day. I can eat for like you take me to that Chinese buffet where we both live around. Like I can eat that for days. You know what I mean? And
I'd probably get kicked out of there for having too many plates.
exactly, that's exactly it. And I was actually close to that at one point. But the point of the matter is that do you know what I mean? Like, that sounds torturous. But I'm just wondering in general, what is your opinion? Do you think it's gone too far, or do you think that people are stupid? Do you think people are right to find these diets? Is it just money?
Think finding a diet that works for you as a person, not only just your body but your mentality, is quite important as well.
Absolutely.
If you really don't have the ability to kind of stay away from sugars and stuff like that, then some of the diets which allow it are probably better suited for you.
Okay.
Don't get me wrong. It doesn't mean you're going to get better, faster results, but it's still better suited to you because over the long haul, you'll stick to it more.
Yeah.
So you probably will end up losing more over, the space of 12 months.
Absolutely.
Even though other types of diets are more optimal. But it is really simple. It's like eat healthy, eat clean. You don't have to starve yourself. You really don't. But portion control, eating little and often, kind of every like 3 hours or so, just a small meal. It doesn't take much. Just like a chicken breast with some salad, like just something typical like that. Or you can have tuna and some pasta. Just but obviously don't put like a ton of full fat mayonnaise or salad cream in it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's kind of just using your head really. Just don't. If you know that certain foods are full of sugar or full of carbs or full of fat, probably best avoid them. It's not rocket science. It's not rocket science at all. It's self-control. And that's where all these diets come in, because people don't have the self-control, but they still want the results.
Indeed.
And people find ways of being able to eat what they want without the self-control, but still get the results.
I see. Do you feel though that? So you're saying, are there any negatives towards it though? I mean, for you, and to a far lesser extent me, if I wanted to lose weight, I just go absolutely simple. But do you feel that? I feel one of the things I feel about stuff like Slimming World, all that. I mean, they're great. They make people lose weight in that, but I feel that they are curtailing to just literally to modern day Western capitalist mentality that they just can't just like it's as if that we have forgotten that our bare essentials, if that makes sense, you know what I mean? And hell, even people that are vegetarian and vegan, like there's so much choices out there. You can eat clean out of both of them. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I mean you can get like corn mince and corn chicken and stuff, can't you? Now,
absolutely, yeah.
Personally, I've not tried any. I wouldn't mind trying corn mince there, just purely to see what it tastes like.
Yeah,
but,
absolutely.
The options are out there for absolutely everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. And I suppose I just worry a little bit. I mean, tell me this, because actually, let's
the only ones you want to avoid are things like Juice Plus and what's the other one? Herbalife. People don't lose weight on those ones because of the actual diet itself working. They lose the weight because they go from eating loads of crappy solid food, high in carbs, high in calories, to being limited to these liquid diets that the body is shocked into losing weight. But you then get to a certain point and you do stop losing weight to a certain degree very quickly on those diets.
Right.
And then you go back to eating normal and the body just reverses everything you've done.
Really?
Absolutely everything you've done.
So,
I don't know anyone who has managed to go from eating utter rubbish to then going on one of those diets and then going back to eating the way they did previously, or similar to how they did previously anyway, and not gain every bit of weight back. It really is a case of you have to moderate yourself. And
in other words, you're saying that you are stuck with Juice Plus for life. You're saying, is that what you're essentially saying then? For example.
Yeah, well, kind of. It's if you want to go from eating a certain way that has assisted you in gaining the weight that you don't want, then you can't just swap between the two and it be it's not healthy to go like that, is it?
No.
I mean, can you imagine, you get these sort of like the real health nuts that go running all day, like every day, and they do like half marathons every night after work, and every time you see them, they're eating oats or muesli, and they've got their fruit and their veg, and they've got all their, they drink all the exact amounts of water per day that they need. Can you imagine one of those guys going and eating like 2 pizzas at McDonald's and some microwave meals every night, and changing their entire lifestyle up like that for a couple of months? Can you imagine the damage it would do?
Oh man,
it's the reverse. It's the reverse to it. The body just doesn't know what's happening.
I see.
It would shock.
Too much shock. There's shock and there's ridiculous shock.
Yeah.
So,
and it's the yo-yo dieting and the shock in it that is what causes people to lose weight in the beginning, but then to bounce back and gain more weight than they lost afterwards.
I mean,
that's the thing. That's the thing I think you're pointing out with the corporate thing, where it's just kind of all these diets that come along. They're not really for the people and their health. They are literally just to make money.
And here am I staring at my Juice Plus fruit blend capsules.
Oh, don't get me wrong. Like a few of the Juice Plus things, if you have them with with a normal healthy diet, because they are full of all the vitamins and minerals and stuff, they're good to add on top.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah, man. Like,
here's a good one for you.
Go on.
When I was bulking up at college, instead of buying weight gainer shakes, which is they've got like multi-dextrin and all this stuff in them, I used to get my protein powders, just a chocolate protein powder, and I used to add to it to make it a weight gainer.
What?
Slim Fast.
Really?
Yeah.
That's an irony. What?
But think of it. If you actually look on the container of the Slim Fast, it's got all your vitamins you need, all your minerals. It's actually very healthy.
Wow.
But adding it in on top, I wouldn't have been able to live off it, of course, like just that on its own.
Yeah.
But adding it in, it is beneficial to add in. That's where I would say that Juice Plus, adding in, one of the health shakes, but again, added in. It's meant to be a supplement. It's meant to supplement or assist in a healthy diet.
I mean, I only use it for I only release the capsules and that. Do you know what the booster is? Because I just want to clarify.
Is that the immune booster? Is that the one you're on about?
It's a sachet thing, the little mini sachet thing.
I'm not sure.
Hold on, let me. Actually, we're gonna do this right now, live. I mean, right now. This is. I may need to rename this to a Juice Plus Revelation or something like that. So this is.
Mate, I'm scared how this is gonna turn out when I listen to it back.
This is DrayZera This is DrayZera Uncensored. Okay, we only talk about the truth here. I mean, if Trump wants to call this fake news, that's his choice. So this is Juice Plus, a complete booster plus. Okay, so this Juice Plus, flipping hell, I can't even read this. This is flipping German, fuck's sake. So apparently you need 3 lots of these sachets a day. They're basically boosters to boost your metabolism.
I'm guessing they've got green tea extract and stuff like that in them. Bit of caffeine, bit of CLA maybe.
Well, I wish I can read you the flipping ingredients. Flipping hell, where's the flipping hell the ingredients? I can't even read it. It's not even in English. Flipping hell.
Well, I can't even read the label on, mate.
Hold on. I'll actually type it in here. While I find out the answer to what's in the booster, tell me this then. Tell me this. When it comes to the whole yo-yo diet kind of thing, is it just essentially the kind of shock factor? The shock factor literally means that Juice Plus oh no we'll help you out, for example, because for me when I gained the weight back, it wasn't like a shock kind of it gained back like 1 day or 1 month or something. It was just more of the fact of during 2015 as a result, I'm going to be completely honest here, when you're in a relationship yeah.
Oh no, that's where most of these ones start.
Yeah.
Everyone's doing. As soon as they get out of a dodgy relationship, or once they're in one and they're not feeling great and they want to change something.
Yeah, indeed. So I'll tell you this. So when I was in a relationship with my then girlfriend Angelica for a whole year, I literally was training really obviously I wasn't really I wasn't bulky or anything, but I was literally like proper tight. I was on down to about 15% body fat. That's as low as I've been. I know it's nowhere near as good as yours, but better than nothing. And
no, mate, that's really good.
but like as a result of going out with a girlfriend, like flipping, you turn into those like staying there for a few days. You eat whatever they have. Then you go into like different habits. Do you know what I mean? But yeah. So yeah, that's the weight eventually. And then I went to Japan for 2 weeks. Around this time last year. And obviously, what would you rather do? Go on a bench press there, if you're me, or just eat whatever you want there? Do you know what I mean? Like natural. I know.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
The one thing I would say is with diets, the whole point of them is slowly cutting down the amount of food you consume.
Yeah.
Or the calories, so that your body isn't maintaining the weight that you don't want. You know.
Yeah.
So instead of just saying, go there and like eat whatever you want, that you can go anywhere and find kind of moderately healthy or low calorie options anywhere you go. I mean, you can go into little Tesco's, for example, and just get like one of the health something or other sandwiches.
Yeah.
They're not perfect, but I'd rather have, if I was really trying to watch my weight, I'd rather go down that route of being somewhat careful than just going, fuck it, I'll eat whatever. Do you know what I mean?
I suppose so for me, I suppose though in my context, and I'm sure other people's context there, when you're on holiday, you want to experience do you know what I mean? Like the
oh, sorry, I didn't hear you when you said the holiday bit.
Yeah, I was in Japan, yeah, man.
Oh, so I didn't realise you meant that as like a proper holiday.
Yeah, 2-week holiday, man. That's long enough, yeah.
Wow, mate, that must have been amazing. I'd love to go.
Oh man, it's so good. Like so good. I might go there later this year, but in any case, this isn't travel brochure travel brochure city. I found the ingredients, by the way. Right.
Okay.
All right. So it is oil emulsion, dried corn syrup, palm oil, oat oil, glacumanan, fructose.
I think that one might still be in German, mate.
Glacumanan, green tea extract,
stabilizer.
Flavouring and caffeine. This booster is gluten free. That's the ingredients.
Right. The two things I said was going to be green tea and caffeine.
Yeah.
Caffeine speeds up your metabolism, and green tea does to a certain degree. It's also a good little detoxifier or whatever it's called.
Yeah. So would you say this is good?
It's usable. It would have it would work. Yeah.
You gave me the kind of look as you kind of gave me a hold on. This says here, it says on here, the positive effect on weight loss is achieved by consuming 3 grams of glucomannan a day in 3 1-gram portions together with 1 to 2 glasses of water before meals and as part of a low-calorie diet for people with swallowing difficulties or when ingesting blah 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 blah. This product is subject to constant laboratory monitoring. Store in a cool, dry, blah blah blah. That's it, really. That's it, really. So yeah.
It'll be the caffeine and the green tea that do it the most, believe it or not.
Really. So you see this glucosamine. I've never heard of this word before.
They like to throw in words that most people can't pronounce to make you go, ooh, I can't pronounce it, that must be good. You know, like, I've never heard that before. It's clearly not in my regular diet. It must make a difference.
So I'm glad that this doesn't apply to ISIS terrorists then. Oh, I can't pronounce his name. It must be good. This is terrible. That joke went down like a bomb. Oh God. Okay. All right. Please do not be triggered.
PC wise, you can make these jokes. I can't.
Oh yeah. You're right. You can laugh at them. That's great. You can laugh with me. It's fine. Absolutely fine. Because I'm the one saying them. Absolutely fine. Yeah. It's just very fascinating. Because so just to clarify, Juice Plus representatives in Germany. Hold on. Company Europe, Basel, Switzerland. If you are listening here, we're not trying to bash your company. No, we're just giving a realistic perspective and if you look at a sponsored bodybuilder, I'm pointing at him, but he's not even in the same room as me. Then come on, come on, it's okay. Don't abuse him. Like he'll knock you down with his pecs.
Oh God!
I know, right?
That'll be the next part of the conversation when we get onto like the stigmas of it. And I'll be like, no, I'm not like that, really.
Okay, right. And now to the next section. The next section. Before we talk about the stigmas, let's talk about what happened with your damaged arm, your tricep. That was when this was last year. Am I correct, or the year before?
Yeah, last year.
Last year. So tell me all about what happened to the listeners and viewers.
Okay, are we going full details and like full open discretion?
Yeah. Go for it. Go for it. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, long story short, I had an infection in my arm and my tricep, and me being the idiot that I am, I just kind of thought, oh no, it'll be fine. It'll go down in a few days. So I left it, and after a few days, it was no better. So I was like, oh, okay, it must be one of those ones that's going to take about a week to go away. So I left it. A week went past, still wasn't gone. So I was like, oh, okay, give it some more time. Just kept being an absolute idiot. I didn't bother going to the doctors. I just thought it was going to go away on its own. After about 3 weeks, it just got worse and worse and worse and worse. I ended up collapsing and being taken into hospital. I had septicemia in my arm, which is blood poisoning. With I think it worked out. What was it? I think it worked out to be like 107 degree temperature, and I was still walking around just about. They didn't believe it when they took my temperature, so they took it like 2 or 3 times to make sure. I was meant to have IV antibiotics to help, but I didn't want to stay in hospital, so they gave me a load of what was it called, Camoxiclav or something like that, just a double antibiotic.
Yeah.
And a week later, after taking them, it was worse still. Went up there and they put me in straight for an emergency surgery. The first surgery, because of the infection, I needed to have my arm drained of the infection that was in there. So I had one surgery, which drained my arm between the skin and the muscle. The next day I had a surgery which they had to cut into my tricep to drain out the infection that was in there. During that surgery, because they had to cut in so deep, they ended up nicking one of the arteries in my arm.
Yeah.
And I come out of that surgery with my arm all bandaged up and it just wouldn't stop leaking. Wouldn't stop bleeding. That night, after I'd had my bandages changed about 20 times or something, I started like kind of blanking out a bit. They took the bandages off completely and a blood clot the size of a watermelon fell out the back of my arm and I ended up bleeding out in the hospital bed. I was connected to like all the blood pressure and heart rate monitors and they all flatlined. They couldn't get any signal off them. And I was rushed in for an emergency surgery with blood transfusions.
Goodness
so
gracious.
I ended up flatlining twice that night.
Crap.
Ironic, here's the best part. That was the night of my 25th birthday as well. That was actually the night of the 30th of June, which was my actual birthday.
Man, worst birthday start ever. I'd rather be hammered.
Oh yeah. And then obviously they had to do that emergency surgery, and then they had to do another surgery after that to correct the mess that they'd made during the emergency surgery.
So they had to do an emergency on your emergency. That's terrible.
Yeah, so I ended up having 3 surgeries in the space of 48 hours.
Wow.
So being knocked out unconscious in the 48 hours 3 times, plus the flatlining twice and being given, I think I ended up having about 5 blood bags put back in me or something like that.
Oh my
I lost. The only reason I survived, they said, was because of the size of me. I went in there about just under 19 stone and probably sitting at around 12% body fat, something like that.
Yeah.
So I was quite lean for the size I was.
Yeah.
My blood volume was just so much more than the average person. The average man holds about, I think it's about 8 or 9 pints of blood.
Yeah.
And I'd lost over 8.5.
Wow.
Obviously, because of that my blood pressure went down so low and they couldn't read anything and it flatlined. But Yeah, then during the healing process, I managed to rip my stitches on the back of my arm, bearing in mind my arm was stitched from elbow to shoulder.
Yeah.
I managed to rip the stitches so I had an open hole in my arm. So if you go on my Facebook, there's loads of videos on there of me messing around, and you can literally see the bare muscle flexing, and I've got loads of videos on there.
Yeah, I saw.
Yeah. Oh, mate, you have no idea how many times they've been reported.
Oh man, people just like, you know, hey man,
Too
hey,
squeamish.
you know, like conversation with 14-year-old girls, that's totally fine. Oh god, a bit of blood. Oh no, oh my god, end my life now.
Basically chatting up 14-year-olds, oh, it's completely fine. Put someone off their Cocoa Pops in the morning for looking at a hole in your arm, report it.
Oh, PC gone
Terrible,
wild. Yeah, go on.
But yeah, then during the healing process, my arm got, because it had to heal from the inside out, the outside closed before the inside had fully healed, and I think just a pocket or something in there got infected again, so I then had to go in and have another surgery. So yeah, I ended up having 5 surgeries on my arm. I was out of the gym for a total of 6 months.
That is a long time. That is a flipping long time.
I dropped nearly 3.5 stone, and my arms went down from 22 inch to just under 16 inch.
Wow.
Because the arm that I had loads of stuff cut out of, I couldn't move, and I'd had it cut, everything cut out. My other arm, the whole time, was near enough pinned down because I had all the IV stuff and that in my arm, so I couldn't move my arm literally for 3 months that I was hospitalized and bedridden. I had no movement in my arms. I wasn't walking around or doing my normal things like there, so I ended up losing so much weight and so much size off my arms and my legs, and but I got it back with the support of my family and my friends, who have been absolutely amazing. Could not ask for better friends and people around me for when all that stuff was happening. And yeah, they really managed to pick me back up and get my head back in the game to go at it again.
Yeah, indeed. That's absolutely
Sorry, that was a really elongated story. That was my bad.
That's mental, because people need to understand that essentially, what in a crazy way, if it went for bodybuilding, and let's say you've had the situation, if you were, let's say, I don't know, my build, and I'm not exactly anorexic, I've got like good muscle, good mass, you would have been dead. Like, yeah.
Well, technically I was twice.
Yeah, but dead, like, as in, you know, grave, 6 foot under, you know, Undertaker, never gonna rise again, dead.
Still dead, yeah.
Yeah.
And we're talking about dying and rising. It's Easter tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow, that's what timing of this podcast, man. You know, it's interesting. For all those listeners out there, you can probably guess when we recorded this. But by the time you listen to it, the bunny's definitely lost his roost.
Mate, I'm looking forward to it. The only thing I like about it is just all the chocolate and seeing family.
Oh, neat. So tell me then. So literally, you can eat chocolate, you can drink alcohol. Just thought I'd ask. And also, before I answer the question, I don't want to quickly swipe under the carpet that you died, because I did sort of put a part joke about it. But listen, people, yeah, for someone that has done so much in his life, bodybuilding, dedicating himself to that, to go away for 6 months, it's kind of like saying to a porn star, "Oh, you're not doing porn for 6 months." Like, what the fuck? What the
Mate,
fuck?
That'd be like stopping you from writing for 6 months.
Oh my god, I'd rather suck off someone's nan in order for me to write again. Flippin' hell. Any nans out there? Wink. No, I shouldn't say that. No. Nans, don't come after me. Don't come after the chocolate moonlight, please. No.
I hope your mum ain't gonna listen to this podcast, mate.
My mum doesn't even know how to turn on the computer, man. So don't worry.
Mate, stories I've read of yours on Facebook, the only thing she uses a kettle to make tea. That story was flipping hilarious, mate.
Oh my god, best thing. Thanks, man. I'm glad. You know, it's crazy that people remember specific like posts I've made. I'm glad I'm entertained. But anyway, let's get back to you. So let's
But yeah,
talk.
I can eat mostly what I want because I do burn a lot of it off.
Yeah.
Obviously, if I was to sit down and eat like just if I was to go through like a pack of like 8 chocolate bars a day, then it really would start making an effect.
Yeah.
But if Easter, the one day of the year there, or if I go out for the day and I just want to have a couple of chocolate bars there or some crisps or have like a McDonald's or go out for a meal with a friend or take something like that, then it's completely fine.
Yeah.
But again, it's a bit of moderation. Drinking, on the other hand, that I find affects me a hell of a lot more than eating. Luckily, my metabolism, I can get away with eating mostly what I want.
Yeah.
But when it comes to alcohol, it changes because, I don't know, you go for X amount of time throughout the night without drinking, without eating, and, the next day you're hungover and you feel sick and you don't eat half of that. It just has a bit of a domino effect. And to be fair, I'm not really into the party scene. That was like the big thing. Everyone goes, like when I started doing this, they were like, oh, but you're like 19, 20, you're not out every week. And I was like, nah, I don't really want to be. But that a lot of people can't. A lot of people I know that are trying to lose weight, the big one they can't do is stop the going out of the weekends drinking. But I got lucky with that one because it wasn't really what I'm about.
That's crazy though. So tell me then, with drinking. I mean, I don't know how often drunk you are. I recalled you one day outside of this magical place called Pizza Mamma Mia. This was a few months back. We're talking about.
Oh dear.
I know. Yeah, it's like 3 a.m. and I'm like the sober guy these days, going, yeah, you're right. Like, yeah, I'm fine. I'm gonna get some kebab, or something burger. I can't remember what you had, but.
I've been out. I've been out twice this year. One time I went out for one of them was for one friend's birthday, and I didn't drink. I went home. I went out about 10 and come home about 1.
Yeah.
Nothing crazy.
Oh, edgy.
Then I went. Yeah, I know, absolute rebel. Then the other one, I went out properly and. Yeah, that was a fun night, which would have been the one where you saw me getting pizza.
Best example ever.
Stumbling into Pizza Mamma Mia and probably falling out of it rather than stumbling. Yeah.
So essentially,
that was one of the first times I'd drunk since I did my arm in, believe it or not. I think I've only drunk about 4 times since then.
Wow, and we're already in the month of April, so you're a month-to-month kind of guy. No, you said since your arm, so that must mean that's once every 2 months on average, then.
Yeah, something like that. But I used to just do it once a month on payday with a couple of my best mates. Yeah. But it just kind of affected all of our training too much, and we just kind of got a bit sick of it. Plus, it gets expensive.
Oh yeah, that's one of the main reasons why I gave up alcohol. I mean, very loosely to do with lifestyle choices, but more to do with to be fair, I'm one of the coolest cocos in the land. I'm one of the cool cocos upon the Shire. Therefore, why do I need to drink alcohol to forget about some Tom, Dick, and Harry, 3 sausages in one of my hands, like waking up? What the hell happened here? You just kind of hear, do you know what I mean? Like, what, do you know what I mean? Like, I want to remember.
I wish I could be one of those people, mate. I'm not good on a night out unless I've had a few drinks, and it's purely because I can't deal with other drunk people when I'm sober. But when I'm drunk, I don't care.
Oh yeah.
Plus, anyone listening, if you've ever had a night out in Bury, no one can do Bury sober. And if you can do Bury sober, then there's either something special about you or something wrong with you.
Are you saying there's something wrong with me?
Or it could be something special. You never know.
I mean, I went out on a night on Bury, like literally just partly to watch live boxing for free or get orange juice at the gym bar. Basically, a local place for all our viewers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Was that the No, what's his name? The Blue fight versus David Hay.
No, I watched that at home. I think it was, what was the fight? One of the fights I watched was what was the fight that I saw? I think I watched the Kell Brook fight against Golovkin. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to the AJ Klitschko fight. That'll be pretty
Oh
good.
my days, that's gonna be tank terror. Like,
Mate, I'm saying it now. AJ's gonna win. He will win.
Knockout.
Yep. Knockout. He's either going to play like the second round, or it's going to take him to like the 8th or 9th.
I love it's gonna be round 2 or round 9. I love the variations.
It's going to be, well, no, everyone. It's a quick one, or it's going to be lengthened out. Do you know what I mean? Depends how he plays it.
Yeah, I think if you look at him, he looks proper. He looks like a proper heavyweight boxer. No offense to Tyson Fury, but Tyson Fury, he's strong, but I mean,
he doesn't look like a boxer.
No, he doesn't. Right, man. I'm going to quickly wrap it up in a few minutes, but quickly tell us some general stigmas about bodybuilding and general stigmas about your physique as well. Like, go ahead, go. Like, probably have many questions. Just blur them all out.
I think the biggest ones that I would say bother me is that people kind of just automatically assume you're really up your arse about it. Trouble is though, with every stereotype, there's a reason it's the stereotype. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, you know, there is going to be an overwhelming majority of people that go to the gym and they think they're God's gift to the world. But I got into it because it's a hobby, and because I liked it and it became a hobby. You know, it makes me better than anyone. If I'm out with mates, I don't talk about it. You know, if someone asks me, then fair play. But I don't sit there going, "Oh, you're at the gym, I did this. Oh, you're at the gym, I did that." It's like, that one kind of annoys me sometimes. But then kind of everyone, you get started on quite a lot when you're on a night out. People think, "Oh, that's the big guy. I'll try and take a pop at him." That one's always quite fun. It always tends to be some little 10-stone chav that wants to give it the big one because he's had 4 Strongbos and he's getting brave.
And for all those people that are from a different country listening to this podcast, because I realised on my Google Analytics that somebody from Philippines watches me. A chav basically means somebody who is essentially a, let's say, a stereotypically less educated individual that usually wears Adidas or Nike Air. Yeah. Sorry, carry on.
Yeah.
Just to educate everyone. Yeah.
Likes to start trouble and gob off to people, basically.
Yeah, indeed, yeah.
You know, and then obviously there's, you know, you walk down the street, everyone's shouting steroids this and steroids that, or, you know, kind of all that side of things. I don't know, people just don't really look on it as a good thing. The guys just try and take the mick, and girls just kind of think you're really up your arse, and you're probably an arsehole with it as well, you know. But
I think it's also stems from jealousy.
Or that you're really nasty. Or that people think you're just really nasty for some reason. I'm like, I'm probably the most soppy drunk you'll ever meet in your life. You've got more chance of me kissing you on a night out than you do me even shouting at you.
Dude, you're a lovable man. I mean, your older sister. Shout out to Victoria. Yeah, she's you're both lovable people. But if I had to pick you or your much more skinnier sister, then I think I'd be more afraid of Victoria.
Oh, mate, yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd probably go with you on that one too, mate.
I'm glad that the brother is agreeing with me. Victoria, please do not attack me. Don't attack me with ninja skills.
That's it, mate. You've said it now. You've angered the bear.
I've angered her. No. Yeah, I mean, like, the thing is, can I ask a quick question? What's your opinion on athletes using steroids? Because essentially, steroids, is it cheating? Is it bad? Because you know, I want to keep an open mind and ask, like, that's such a broad question. If it's something like the Olympics and you're tested, but you're kind of using them under the radar, competing against people that aren't using them, and you're doing it for an advantage over someone who's not got the same advantage, then yeah, it's cheating because you're giving yourself a false upper hand. Yeah.
When it comes to bodybuilding, there's natural shows and untested shows. So if you're competing in the natural shows, that's where they do drug test you, and you're not allowed to use things. In the untested shows, it's open game. It is your choice to use it or not. Do I think it's cheating? Not in the sense that I use it or that certain people in open category bodybuilding do, but people think that people think it's a quick fix. They think, oh, you just take a few tablets, for X amount of weeks and you get humongous overnight. I mean, I've been training 9 years. I've been training for 9 years. I trained for 5 years without touching anything. And since I started taking the steroids and, cycling on and off them, I train harder. I have to eat more to maintain the higher body weight. And it's not, like, don't get, like, with the steroid thing, it's not a fun thing to do. Like, even if we're just talking taking the tablets, like, having to remember them at certain times every day is a pain in the arse. But it's not a quick fix. You see people, like, take them quickly, they blow up, they shrink back down. But to do it properly, it's not a quick fix. It doesn't just change you from the get-go.
So why is there such a bad stigma? So if you were to say, if I asked you a general question, if you did steroids, you say like, do you know what I mean, like that kind of reaction?
Yeah. Well, the big thing, like, everyone thinks, they go, oh, it's cheating, because they don't understand how it works. It doesn't just make you big without having to get your ass off the sofa. You really do have to put in the work to get the most out of them. Yeah. Like, I know tons of other guys on gear. They're not half my size. When I was natural, I was bigger than a lot of people I knew back then who were on steroids. Yeah. It really didn't make a difference. But you get onto the side of it where they go, oh, it's so unhealthy, it's so unhealthy. While someone's sat there smoking their fucking 15th cigarette of the day, drinking a pint at 2 p.m. Like, they go, oh, it's so unhealthy, this, that, and the other. It's
like, hello, kind of thing.
Yeah. I mean, or the big one is, they start shouting roid rage, which, just for the record, it really doesn't exist, in my opinion. If you were an arsehole beforehand, you're going to be a bigger arsehole on it.
I see. It's sort of more. It makes it more. It makes it aggressively.
It makes you more of what you are. It's like, but don't get me wrong. You can be the nicest person in the world, have a few pints, and you turn into someone that no one would want to be around. Just starting fights.
Totally.
Like, but people never, they never speak bad about alcohol, causing people to get moody and all that. Yeah. But, and then people go, oh, it's roid rage. Sit there pissing you off for 20 minutes about it, and then as soon as you tell them to fuck off, they're like, oh, see, look, roid rage. It's like, oh my god.
You get the same reaction that you'll essentially get from, like, like, what? Do you know what I mean? Like,
I've never experienced roid rage the whole time I've been using them. You can ask everyone who's around me, like, 24/7.
Yeah.
Like, ask my mum that I live with or anything like that. Any girl that I've with, I've never had roid rage ever.
Yeah, go on.
I really think it depends on the person, and I think it becomes an excuse. They tend to start, not controlling their tempers a bit more. Yeah. Because they've got a little fail-safe to fall back on that they can blame it on. Yeah. But the amount of girls I've had, like, when I was single, come to me and say, like, I would be with someone who took the steroids, blah, blah, but my ex took them one time and he got really angry. I'm like, right, was he a dickhead before? They're like, well, he was a little bit. I was like, then what do you expect?
Absolutely. So would you say anyone that has a negative opinion on steroids, you're going to say to them, look, steroids isn't as bad as people say they are?
Not in a million years is it anywhere near as bad as the media and hearsay make them out to be.
I see.
Not in a million years. They're nowhere near as bad as people think.
So essentially, but would you say that essentially, but you would never ever cheat in a competition if it means that, like for example, if it's a tested competition, you'll never take them essentially, right? Because that's what's the point, you know what I mean? Like you'll just find out, you get caught, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's the same in the Olympics. That's why they do. Don't get it wrong. I know obviously they do mess around with the test results with the Olympics, but it's the whole point of kind of play it fair. It's cheating when you put like a prize in an actual competition where your actual singular efforts are involved. But I don't think it's cheating when you just do it because you're trying to get to a certain size and you train for X amount of time as hard as you can, you eat as much as you can, and then do you know what I mean? But then everyone's opinion on that will differ. A lot of people are so naive about it. People still think that like The Rock and Arnold Schwarzenegger and all their favorite action movie stars are all natural and they did it that way. I'm like, I guarantee you they don't.
I see. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you this much. I mean, as a massive wrestling fan myself, seeing from let's say The Rock in 2001 to The Rock in 2016. Well, 2017. Sorry, we're in 2017. Yeah, it's a bit of a difference, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, here's a good one. For people out there who watch wrestling and watch the UFC, look at Brock Lesnar when he first got into the WWE.
Yes.
And then look at him like a year after he got into the UFC and started fighting, when he couldn't take steroids anymore, and like, obviously he was drug testing. And look at the difference in his physique. Absolutely.
And I'll say this very quickly: in WWE, they do a lot more drug testing now. You can't be on steroids.
They do. I've noticed that, but you can never tell. I think there's a few of them who are taking something.
A lot of the wrestlers are more very slimmed down kind of build these days, or they really test heavily, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, because at the end of the day, they got so many sponsors, so.
again though, just because they take them, you look at the way some of them train. Like I saw Triple H's training, like a recent training video of him getting ready for like WrestleMania or something, and the guy's like 40, 50 years old, and he trains harder than most like 20, 25-year-olds in the gym that I see nowadays. He's absolutely killing it. Yeah. And people are like, oh, he's steroids. I'm like, no, he just out-diets and outworks you.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, man. You know what? Just very quickly, if anyone wants any chat to you, like, do you have anywhere, like your sponsors or anywhere to like talk to you about like weight gaining, weight loss, anything nutritional you want to shout out?
Yeah, sure. Obviously, like my Facebook would probably be the easiest one to catch me on, which is literally just Ben Scott.
I'll put it on the comments or like the description of this. Yeah.
And my Instagram, which is YoungGuns91. Don't laugh.
Oh, it's cool, man. Like, I assume 91 is the year of your birth, and you're young and you got guns. I mean, that's so imaginative.
That was the idea when I made it.
So much imagination. Exactly I'm not laughing inside. No, it's okay.
Mate, I had about 20 minutes to think up a name and make it, and that's the best I could come up with.
It's cool, man. It's cool. It's absolutely fine. It's fine. It's like, look. Let's everyone, no laughing, because otherwise he'll give you some like completely rage without the roids. See, get the joke there. Yeah, sorry, go on.
The worst I'm gonna do is let me sit on someone.
Sit on my face. All right then, Moonlight Army. Well, Ben, thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it.
Mate, thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it.
No worries. No worries. All right, Moonlight Army. My name is DrayZera, and this has been Ben Scott, and we shall zera later. DrayZera Uncensored, bringing you interviews, hot topics, and my uncensored opinion. Subscribe to DrayZera for all things podcasts, vlogs, spoken word videos, and so much more. Why would you go anywhere else? Then an awakening.